If you're always correcting your child, even when he's doing good things, but it's never good enough, aren't you destroying his self-esteem? Let's try to understand what self-esteem is, what it isn't, what it's good for, and what it's not good for. Self-esteem does not mean you are important. Self-esteem does not mean you are smart. Self-esteem doesn't mean you're in charge. Self-esteem, properly taught, means what you do counts. That's self-esteem. The secular notion of self-esteem is creating monsters. Look what's going on out there. Every school, every program, every teacher, every counselor is busy building children's self-esteem. And then those children beat up the teachers and the counselors with good self-esteem. There's something wrong with secular thinking, always. Self-esteem doesn't mean you tell a child he's important. You know why you don't tell a child he's important? Because he's not. It's not true. What is true? Your behavior matters. It matters to me, it matters to society, it matters to the Eibishter. That's self-esteem. If you tell a child, you are important, you are smart, you're great, but whether you do it or not, who cares? That's the worst thing you can say. So we've got it, the secular world has it backwards. In the secular world, the child is great, the child is always right, the child is perfect. What he does or doesn't do, whatever, he does it, he doesn't do it, what's the difference? If he feels good with it, it's okay. We say the exact opposite. A child is just a child. Adult is not any more important. You don't get to be very important. You're a human being. But what you do counts. What you say counts. What you think counts. That's self-esteem. So if you want to make your children healthy and strong, don't keep telling them that they're perfect and smart and strong and big. They're not going to believe you anyway. What you tell them is, your mitzvah counts. A child who knows that he can't eat a certain candy because it's not kosher, that's self-esteem. This is not for me. That's self-esteem. I need to go home now, it's Erev Shabbos. That's self-esteem. So my identity doesn't come from compliments. My identity comes from, I know where I belong and I know where I don't belong. I have an identity. But to say, I know who I am, I'm the smartest kid in class, that's not an identity, and it's probably not true. So let's be careful with the kind of self-esteem we give children. So, if you tell a child, you made the bracha, but you didn't do it right, not good enough. You're not saying you're not good enough. There's actually a compliment here. We're not talking about you being good enough. We're not judging you. We're saying, how do you make a bracha? There's a right way, there's a wrong way, there's a perfect way. From you, I expect the perfect way. Why? Because your bracha is important enough to do it right. But focus on the issue, not on the child. So, for example, we all know that if a child does something bad, you, God forbid, don't say to the child, you are rotten, cruel, evil, and corrupt. Chas v'sholem. You say, what you did was terrible. Okay? But then what happens when a child does something good? Then you say, you're an angel, you're a malach, you're a tzaddik, you're a mitzvah kid. Why? Why are you not being consistent? If a child does something bad, you tell him how bad it was. If your child does something good, tell him how good it is. Why are you talking about him or her? So all this language, you're a tzaddik, stop it. The child knows he's not, and he becomes very uncomfortable with this. It also sounds like you're making a condition. I'm so proud of you, I love you so much because you're a tzaddik. Tomorrow he does something, he's not a tzaddik. He's sure you're not going to love him anymore. So it's much better in chinuch, if a child does a mitzvah, say to the child, that's how the mitzvah is done. That was correct. That's a good thing. That's how the Rebbe would do it. That's how the Eibishter wants. When you're tucking him in and he's going to sleep and you're so relieved, then you can say you're a tzaddik, you're a malach, you're whatever you want, because then you're not confusing the issues. Then you are telling him how much you love him and how much you think of him. But when he's doing a mitzvah, the subject is the mitzvah. Don't change it to him. And the same is true when he does something bad. If you say, you're bad, you're evil, what are you teaching him? This is not the time for this. Right now, he did something wrong. It should be the topic, not the child. That's called chinuch. So again, if you see a child doing something you're not allowed to do, and you say, I hate when you do that, not good chinuch. The question is not whether you love it or hate it. What are you saying? I hate when you lie. Really? That's nice to know. What else do you hate? You're not teaching the right and the wrong of lying. You're almost changing the subject. A child hits his sibling. And you say, how many times have I told you not to do that? What's the difference? How many times? Right? What are you teaching here? So stick to the mitzvah or the aveda. When you're just sitting around, you can call him angel, malach, tzaddik, you can do whatever you want. But don't mix the subject. A mitzvah is a mitzvah. Doesn't matter whether you're a tzaddik or not. So by giving significance and importance to a child's behavior, that is the biggest compliment, the truest compliment, and it gives them the healthiest self-esteem.